Welcome to the latest edition of the Conveyor Pod. This edition is going to be about our SME Experts proposition. My name is Lee Venamore, and I'm Head of Commercialised Distribution at Conveyor Insurance. And today I'm delighted to be joined by Britt Gillett, our Head of Distribution and Sales for the North region. Welcome, Britt.
Hi, Lee.
And James Payne, our Head of Distribution and Sales for the South. Welcome, James.
Hello, good morning.
I'm looking forward to talking to you both today about SME Experts proposition and how this is being implemented in each of your regions. So we'll start today, first of all, with a question for you, Britt. What's the reaction been like from brokers in the North around our SME Experts proposition?
Yeah, good question, Lee. So the reaction from brokers across the North and the Midlands, it's been great, if I'm honest. The overwhelming feedback from brokers at the moment is that Conveyor are back. And I agree, we're back with a bang. We've been talking to brokers for some time now about our successful turnaround, and our regional teams do a really good job of delivering that message to brokers. But for me, it just hits different when it comes from our exec team and, more importantly, our CEO. It shows that we're joined up, that we're aligned. Brokers have also fed back to us how great it is that we're really redefining who we are and where we want to play in the market. We've always known that we're SME experts, but now our proposition is tailored around that expertise.
That's great to hear, Britt. Thank you very much. So, James, how are we using our regional branch presence in the South to get closer to our brokers and offering that market-leading service and expertise that we strive to deliver and that we talked about at our roadshows?
Well, with our 3 regional underwriting branches in Bristol, Chelmsford and London, which are supported by our experienced team of regional development managers, development underwriters and trading underwriters, we're delivering an enhanced service proposition to our chosen brokers. We don't have the scale of our peers, and thus we've had to operate with a limited distribution model for a while already. But this allows us to really focus our resource and our expertise on a limited tranche of brokers, which really adds to the uniqueness of the proposition that we can provide to them. One thing we also really encourage amongst our teams as well is that direct face-to-face contact with our brokers, whether that's through our development managers, our underwriters, it doesn't really matter. But providing our brokers with easy access to key decision makers and senior stakeholders in the region, all of whom are empowered and accountable to make trading decisions locally that directly benefit and support development with our brokers. Another thing that we actively encourage as well is we really do like structure with our relationships. So we work obviously towards mutually aligned objectives with our brokers, backed up by a specific engagement plan that we put in place across the year. And we also work with our brokers as well to develop jointly agreed business plans as well. So bring that all together, and that's how we really try and deliver a strong service proposition to our brokers in the region.
That's really good. Thank you very much, James. And how's the year started for you guys in the South?
It's been a fantastic start to the year, to be honest, Lee. So I'm glad that you've asked that question. In terms of how we're performing, the underlying profit from the region so far is really strong, and we're working very closely to plan. I think the highlight for me, though, has probably got to be our new business performance. So our Q1 25 performance versus the same period last year, we're up 27% on new business, which is a fantastic result. And it demonstrates the hard work that our teams have put in, but also the support that we've had from our brokers. We've also had quite a number of exciting volume and schemes opportunities to look at as well. So lots going on, lots of positive things. But we've given ourselves a real good firm base now to kick on for the rest of the year with.
Sounds like it's a great start. And what about the North, Britt? Can you keep up with that?
Just about. We've got good news stories in the North and the Midlands as well, Lee. I'm pleased to say, because James and I have always got that bit of healthy competition between us. We are bang on plan at the end of Q1, and overall our new business enquiries are up on prior year, and that's across all products. The key driver for us this year has been increased conversion in commercial combined. And I think that's because we've relaunched our fleet product. So now we're able to quote for increased number of vehicles. So we've had success on packaging, fleet and combines. We know it's a really competitive market out there at the moment. So what we've done locally is we've introduced some efficiencies on our renewals process. That's allowing our existing business underwriters that breathing space to be able to trade more effectively with brokers in the market, and of course maintaining those high service standards that Conveyor are known for. And I guess my final point, probably the most important point, is that our loss ratios continue to perform really well.
That's great to hear, because obviously if we spoke at the road shows, we're definitely in growth mode this year, but it's profitable growth that we want as a business. So that's really great news. Thank you, Britt. So obviously you lead the broker development consultant team as well, Britt. So can you give me a bit of detail or talk to me about how we're getting closer to that important group of network brokers?
Yes, I can. And I'm smiling because this is a real success story for Conveyor so far this year. So we created our dedicated networks team in 24, but in 25 it's really starting to take shape. We've grown the team from 0 to 7 people, which has been a real investment from Conveyor. As it stands, we're only dealing with 2 of the networks. However, there's no reason why we can't expand that as we grow. And to answer your question, Lee, my broker development consultants team are doing a fantastic job of building on our existing relationships with network brokers and really working closely with them to capitalise on our new proposition. And I'm really proud to say that in March, the team exceeded their targets for the first time since we launched. And the results from that team are improving month on month. So, yeah, it's going to be an exciting 2025 for those guys.
That's really good. Thank you, Britt. And obviously, Cavara Insurance, we've always had a degree of exclusivity with our brokers across the regions. But one of the things we talked about and launched as part of our SME Experts propositions at the roadshows was our one quote to market. So it's a question for both of you, really. Maybe we'll start with you, James, but how's that been received in the South, that one quote to market approach?
Really positive, to be honest with you, Lee. We've had a lot of encouraging feedback from our brokers already. And I think many have welcomed the approach that we're much more specific about how we'll engage with the market and how we'll quote now. So really good feedback. What it has led to is some challenging decisions that we've had to make already, which I'll take as a positive. But we've also had some really good constructive conversations with our brokers off the back of that as well. And I suppose what probably highlights that really is a recent example where we had a really good inquiry from an attacking broker. They've got a lot of depth and detail to the presentation. But we'd already seen the same inquiry from the holding broker short while beforehand, and that left us with a choice then. But ultimately, the depth and detail that was contained in the attacking broker's presentation, and along with a really strong client story as well, it really encouraged us and compelled us to back the attacking broker with the one quote to market that we were going to supply. That obviously led to us having to manage a conversation with the holding broker quite sensitively. But it did give us a good opportunity to really talk about the approach in more depth and also examine ways in which we could work more collaboratively with them going forwards for trading inquiries in the future. So a positive nonetheless. But challenging decision. It wasn't an easy one, but the example here was the right call to take, and what it resulted in was us absolutely securing that case with the attacking broker. So, yeah, it was a tough one, and it was a good example in these early days. But winning with our brokers is what it's all about, and that was a good demonstration of how we utilised it already.
That's really good. Thank you, James.
I completely agree with that as well, James. We've also had some examples in the north since we've launched where we've had to make difficult decisions about which broker to back. One that we've had just recently, we had to really sit back and think, right, who have we got the best chance of securing this quote with? And we had a better story and a stronger commitment from one broker other than the other. And in this instance, we'd made the right call and we helped the broker win the business. And you're right, that is what it's all about, isn't it?
That's really great to hear, because I think we see this as a real sort of selling point with our brokers and giving them that competitive edge. So to hear that it's helping us win business and build stronger relationships with our brokers, I think is absolutely fantastic. So well done, and thank you to both of you. James, so final question here. How are e-trade developments sort of helping brokers in your region?
Well, we've got some quite exciting developments going on in e-trade this year, which is really good. And probably the main one is that we're migrating all of our products across to Actuaries Connect this year. The first one we've actually already done. So our trades and professions contract launched onto Actuaries Connect at the end of March. Now, our brokers aren't going to see anything dramatically different to begin with, but what that Connect capability gives us is the ability to refine and tweak our rates with much more regularity going forwards. And it also provides us with the opportunity to develop more unique broker propositions for individual broker partners as well. But I think in a more general sense, even in these early weeks since we've deployed that connectivity for that product, we've already seen quite a significant uptick in our new business. So that's a real good positive right from the get-go. But I think what I'm looking forward to is how that Connect migration rolls out across the rest of the year. So we've got our property owners product moving on to Connect, hopefully in May, with our e-trade commercial combined product following in the summer, and then we'll have our shops and offices products following later on in the year too. So some good things to look forward to for our brokers, and I'm sure that they'll see that edge develop in terms of our competitiveness as the year moves on.
It's really good, thank you. So yeah, that concludes our Conveyor Pod for today. I hope you found it useful. We'll be coming out with more information around our SME Experts proposition. And to James and Britt, thank you, and keep up the good work.